It's on t-shirts, memes. It's just all over the place. I think it might be like the number one fitness saying that has ever come out of people's mouths, including mine in the past. I'm being honest here, but I want to give you my take on this legendary phrase, no pain, no gain. I've been a personal trainer for over 15 years, and man, I have certainly said that one plenty of times. It's kind of a love-hate relationship that I have with it at this point, though. Of it's a hate relationship. Scratch that. It's just a hate relationship. But let me explain why, right? I get the idea behind it, where the phrase comes from. It was meant to be motivating, right? It's meant to be like, keep pushing, you can do it. And to get individuals, to encourage individuals to go beyond their mental limits, right? Where their mind is like, stop, stop, but their body could still keep going. And so, as a result of a phrase like that, our mind, boom, pushes our body a little bit farther. But it came from that old school culture, right? Where the focus was on pushing yourself to the limit, the beast mode, the go harder, go home, that kind of thing. And again, I've said it so much, especially when I was younger. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's a young person's phrase. When you're 43, you're not saying it anymore. So uh, I get it. There's some value in getting um, out of our comfort zone and learning to get comfortable with discomfort. I get that, right? I know that I understand how exercise works. I know how resistance training works, that our body's responding to stress. And we have to realize that. That means that if we're just doing what is absolutely easiest, we're not going to get a whole lot of change. I get that. But somewhere along the line, I think this phrase stopped being about discipline and inspiration. And it kind of just started sounding like a dare, right? I dare you to keep going. I dare you to keep pushing, right? If you're not limping after your workout, then you didn't try hard enough. And I think that mindset is not a healthy one. I think that mindset is broken. And it's a mindset now that I'm thinking about has broken me more than once. I look back at my younger years of training like a madman, of the pre-workout and just like being crazy, in the gym. And those were also times when I was going through periods of each year that I was injured, that I was kind of rehabbing. If I wasn't in physical therapy, I was rehabbing injuries myself in the gym, just taking it easy, skipping different body parts where there was a mess happening. Um, I had, joint problems, back problems. Uh, so I've definitely learned now much better how to work out, how to train in a way that I'm taking care of my body and I'm not going through those same periods, those same weeks and weeks, right? 6 to 8 weeks out of every year, sometimes multiple times each year where I'm limping around, I'm injured, I'm still doing a workout, but it's not what I want to do. And it's because I've caused myself pain trying to trying to gain. So but let's clear something up here. Let's talk about the difference between pain and discomfort, right? I said earlier, I understand we have to be uh, discomfortable. How about uncomfortable? There has to be some discomfort as we're exercising, as we're training, in order to get the results that we want, in order to get the change that we want. In fact, just to feel good, right? We need to get our heart rate up. We need to push a little bit beyond what's just the status quo in order for us to experience the benefits and to feel the benefits. But there's a difference between pain and that discomfort that I just described. They're not the same thing. Discomfort is it's part of growth. I think about it as the burning feeling in your muscles when you get into the end of a set, right? Rep 10, 11, 12, and you do what you can at the end of the set. And maybe you do. You think to yourself, no pain, no gain. But what you're really talking about is discomfort. No discomfort, no gain. The heavy breathing at the end of the workout that I'll often do. I love to do a finisher at the end of my workouts. Lots of my clients do that as well. After the workout, we do a little somewhere between 2 and 5 minutes of more of a metabolic challenge. Right, get the heart rate up. We're moving weight, but we're not lifting super heavy. We're just high reps and going for it. I love that feeling. The heavy breathing, the heart rate's up at the end of the workout. Discomfort. That's discomfort. That's not pain. Soreness the next day after a workout, a little soreness, unless you're starting a brand new program, right? For those of you who have started, working out with a trainer before, or you start a new program, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't been doing anything and then you do a full body lift, even one that's not super crazy, you're still going to have a good bit of soreness, right? The next day or two. We're going to do what we can to not have that and for you still to be able to obviously get through your day and everything. But that soreness after a good workout that many of us come to love, we enjoy that. That's just discomfort, right? I don't want that to be painful, miserable. That's your body adapting, rebuilding, getting stronger. That's good. And it's important to remember that, right? When you start a new program, it's going to be there. There might be some extra discomfort, but that's part of the process, right? Your muscles are adjusting to new demands. Delayed onset muscle soreness is part of the adaptation process. It's how we get stronger, and it usually eases up after a few days. And as you get more consistent with your workouts, you're not going to feel that same soreness. I promise. Consistency is what it's all about there. But pain, and I'm talking about sharp, stabbing, lingering pain that makes you want to stop immediately. I got to stop this. I got to stop. I got to get out of here. I got to quit doing what I'm doing. That's a message, right? That's your body saying, this isn't right. This has got to stop. I'm not happy with this. And that pain is a warning sign. It is not a requirement for results. So um, keep that in mind, right? The difference between pain and discomfort. And I've got I got an old ice hockey injury, my left knee. Every once in a while, doing some lateral movements. Um, ooh, I got some pain. I'm not talking about discomfort anymore. I got some pain. And I'm sure at some point I'm going to be going to an orthopedic surgeon and figuring out what I got to do to fix it. But in the meantime, I listen to that warning sign, listen to my body, and then make adjustments. And for a little while, avoid those movements that irritate it. There is nothing for any of us that we can't work around. There's nothing that can't be modified. If we have pain and it's not being caused by the workout, right? It's just a painful situation. Like I said, with my knee, it's there. The workout didn't cause it. Somebody flying into me from the side, knocking my knee toward the center line of my body. That's what injured it, right? And there's something torn. There's something not working right in there. And but when I'm working out, it gets irritated. I need to fix it, right? I need to make some adjustments. So the problem is when we have the no pain, no gain mindset as a baseline, we start ignoring what our body's telling us and override common sense. We can treat injuries like they are just speed bumps, like let's boom, let's go, let's keep rolling, right? And that's how you end up burned out or worse, benched by an injury that could have been prevented. And like I said, I've seen this happen to other people. I've had it happen to me. So don't have that mentality, please, as you're working out, especially as you're getting older. If you're someone who is trying to have a healthy retirement, especially living long and strong, no pain, no gain. There's no place for it. Don't push so hard, so fast, like we're making up for lost time. It is not proof of progress to feel pain. Progress doesn't have to hurt. Real results come from smart training, from good form, from rest and recovery, from listening to your body and doing it consistently rather than intensely. Okay. You can get stronger, healthier without crawling out of the gym or out of your basement gym, wherever it is that you work out. Okay. This isn't about obliterating yourself, it's about being better, building something better. Now, before I close up, here's a question people have. Well, what if I always have pain? Like real pain, right? Like I mentioned the knee injury. What if it's always there no matter what I do? What about that? And of course, I recognize there are a lot of people I've worked with who have pain. I've had clients who have MS, arthritis. It's pain is something that they live with. And I think that's really important for us to talk about because, especially if you're in your 40s, your 50s, 60s, 70s, does it mean that you shouldn't work out? Well, that's for you to decide with your doctor. But this is just me personally. I would say no. Does it mean you shouldn't work out? Absolutely not. In fact, oftentimes when we have some of those chronic pains, smart movement is exactly what we need. Strength training, mobility work, good warm ups, right? Proper form can help to reduce the noise, the turn down the volume on the chronic pain. But it requires that we put the work in. We have to pay attention. We have to listen and we have to make adjustments around the pain instead of just pushing through it and trying to force our body to do something that it's fighting us on. Okay? And over time, I'm talking the long haul, not a couple days, not even a couple weeks, maybe more like months and years, we might find some of those nagging aches and pains really quiet down over time when you're moving consistently and you're moving it well. So let's reframe the phrase no pain, no gain, because I honestly think that it does more harm than good, but I do love a good reframe. So, how about this? No challenge, no change. It's got to be a little challenge, right? Train smart, not just hard. Train smarter, not harder. Okay. How about that? Progress, not punishment. That's what we are after. Those kinds of messages are the ones I want you to hear while you're working out, the ones I want to be sharing with you, the ones I want you to be saying to yourself. You don't have to be in pain to get results. Please don't think that. You just have to show up with intention and know what your body needs on a regular basis. So the next time you hear somebody yelling it, no pain, no gain from the treadmill, or they're throwing it out as a motivational quote while somebody's under a lot of weight on the bench press, just smile. You know better. Help them out if you can, but don't buy into the phrase. We're not trained to prove something. We are trained to improve something, and that is our health. That is the version of ourselves that we are. So it's about consistency. It's about wisdom. Maybe a little grit here and there, but not pain. Please, no. All right. Thanks so much for listening. If this one hit home for you, could you do me a favor and just share it with someone who needs to hear it? Maybe a workout buddy or a friend or family member who you know wants to improve health. Thanks so much. Until I talk to you next time, keep taking good care of yourself.